Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Two and Love, here with your AEW All Out 2022 pay-per-view review. Um, yes, I just finished watching Dynamite. Yes, it is wrapped up, and I'll get into the bits of it when I get into it, but and a following episode, or a following video, but you know, I will be covering All Out with this episode. I apologize 3 days in advance, or 3 days after. You know, obviously a bunch has happened since with the scrum at CM Punk, the Elite, their altercation. I'll give more of my thoughts on it on my Dynamite review, but you know, I apologize I wasn't home much on Monday or Tuesday, but alas, I'm here, and yes, I am set to give you your review, so bear with me. Apologize, but I will give all my thoughts on what has gone down the last number of days. So, again, just sit back, relax, ears up. But nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and want to see more of these pro wrestling videos on the channel, click that subscription there in the corner. Find more videos on the homepage, pro wrestling reviews, sports overview of topics, related, etc. videos on the channel, and notifications as well for a Joe 2 and Love. Well, last, thank you, and let's get in with the All Out review. So, I watched All Out on Sunday night. You know, I was a little worried. You know, there's a little technical issues with the pay-per-view on. Luckily, I didn't do Bleacher Report. Like, I know some people have issues with Bleacher Report pay-per-view. Xfinity, yes, we have Xfinity, but I didn't use Xfinity. I just use regular pay-per-view, but was good quality, good quality. But the biggest story that happened at All Out, not the Me's room, was MJF. MJF, the devil per se, is back. MJF, who we had not seen since his tirade over Tony Khan and the ex-WWE guys of AEW, and all in all, on the Dynamite post Double or Nothing 3 months ago. But he returned in a unique fashion. So Dynamite the Casino Ladder match ended in such a weird way. So we know Stokely Hathaway has given out all these business cards to basically assemble an army of his to numerous members. And they basically took control of the casino ladder match. Stokely Hathaway climbed the ladder, unhooked the chip, and all of a sudden we hear Symphony for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. At first I was confused, but then once you put the pieces together and a masked man in a devil mask, white devil mask, comes out, takes the chip from Stokely Hathaway, and there and all we have the winner. But this guy did not unmask. He waited until the end of the show after and was played after the CM Punk John Moxley main event. A voicemail on MJF's phone saying that Tony Khan will swallow a bitter pill for the fans, for MJF to come back, and then he'll pay him the X amount of dollars. And then we saw a clip of CM Punk and Ring of Honor from his old days after he won the world title, talking about the greatest thing the devil ever did was make people think he didn't exist. And all of a sudden we see the guy unmasked. MJF puts on his Burberry scarf. Then all of a sudden we hear a great reaction for MJF. He comes out. I CM Punk gestures for the AEW World title. Flips off the crowd after they cheered him. That was all done. And yeah, MJF, unique fashion. You know, MJF, we know, is going to be the AEW World Champion sooner rather than later. But we know with all this, with all the injuries and all everything, he was one of those guys that definitely we miss amongst these injuries and sorts that has happened in pro wrestling the last few months. And good for pro wrestling, good for AEW. And he is back. So, start the show was the casino ladder match. So, it started Willer Yuta versus Ray Phoenix versus Roosh versus Penta versus Andrade versus Dante Martin versus Claudio versus then we figured MJF. So Yuta and Phoenix start off. Yuta won that great fatal 4-way last week to get momentum prior to this match. Had some decent offense start. They were really quick. Suicide by Yuta sent Phoenix into a ladder. Yuta. So then Roosh came out. This was, I think, a spot that had people in a weird taste in their mouth. So Rouge came down and Yuta was climbing the ladder. And Rouge was taking his dandy time, taking all of his attire off before he went down to the ring. And Yuta is meanwhile trying to climb the ladder, going for the chip. That part, you know, I don't think people really enjoy. I will say, I mean, it's for a poker chip for the right to challenge for the AEW title whenever you feel. So that was just odd. So Yuta was sent onto a ladder by Rush. Andrade then was next. Rush looked like he was about to climb a ladder, but stopped for Andrade, who instead of climbing a ladder, bridged a ladder in between the ropes and one of the ladders. And it looked like it was going to be very dangerous for Andrade in this spot. So when Claudio almost sent Andrade sailing out of the ring, possibly on the turnbuckle, when he's basically defenseless when it comes to his ladders, which basically turned into an X. Anywho, Andrade was sent to the outside. Destroyer by Penta later in the match onto a ladder that was bridged in between the barricade and the apron. There was a table set up. Phoenix hit a frog splash. Two Rouge through the table. Basically, they were taken out. And all of a sudden, these masked men, they come out and storm to the ring, cause chaos, attack everyone involved. Then one of them climbs a ladder and goes to unhook the poker chip before the Joker has been unveiled. So then it was Stokely Hathaway, he unveiled. MJF walked out. Mass obviously took the poker chip and was announced the winner. I mean, like I said, unique way, bizarre way, but now if MJF did not come out at the end of the night or at the pay per view, this would have felt much flat to me. But because it was announced as MJF, because he came back out and got the reaction he did, it made more sense. Now, because I mean, after what MJF said, if he just was announced as MJF, came down, I mean, yes, he would have gotten a reaction, but considering what he said, you know, it was going to be more obvious. But considering he was able to come down afterwards and have the reaction he got much better. Much better. This trios titles match was very good. Very good. Very good. The Elite vs. Dark Order for the inaugural trios titles in the tournament. This was fun. Now, I think it was pretty obvious how, trios titles went for Kenny, and then he comes back, the Elite take all the way. Of course, I was disappointed it wasn't the Dark or House of Black, but this match, very good, and good for the Elite. Have this moment. So, after some exchanging, after the Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, their interactions got the crowd riled up, and they were very much into it. So, after some back and forth between the two, Dark Order back involved. They did an assisted brainbuster on Kenny on the outside. Silvers hit the spin doctor for a 2 count. They then went for their Southern German suplex combination for a good near fall. Omega, now, this was his first match back that he didn't have. He didn't look like he had any tape, any protective padding, nothing. He looked in his prime position, his great form. So great to see Omega really healthy. I mean, he's probably still not 100%, but it's great to see for Omega after all he went through. So Omega arrives at the Terminator, took out all members of Dark Order. Dark Order hit a triple pendulum bomb for a 2. Omega hit a Tiger Driver 98. Page hit a moonsault slam for a near fall, good near fall. Buxton hit BT trigger, but was broken up. This match came, so Silvers and Omega were the legal guys in the middle of the ring. Page went for the buckshot, but Omega ducked and he drilled John Silvers. And Omega picked up the pieces, pinned Silvers 1, 2, 3, while Hangman was covered down, and the Elite win the Trios Tournament Finals and were crowned the inaugural AEW Trios Champions. And you could tell, I mean, with what Omega went through last year and going into this year, this was an emotional moment for him. You can see, I mean, he is arguably the best wrestler on the planet, Kenny Omega. And You know, for him to be healthy, that's first and foremost. That's good. But for him to be back in the rings, such now is a beautiful thing. Now, obviously, with the news of what happened post the media scrum and on Dynamite is a different story. But as far as this match and the moment, great for Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Now, I will say that based on the tournament and based on AEW's locker room, the Elite did not need this victory. I don't think so. Yes, it was great. Yes, they are the most well known trio of the tournament. But as far as, you know, trying to make the division look better and, really take more stars to that level, the Elite did not need this victory, I will say. Jade Cargill versus Athena. You know, Jade Cargill, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, her character is there. You know, we know how good Athena is. So for this match to be less than 5 minutes is a bit underwhelming. Yes, they love Jade. We know that, but this match just how it ended was just disappointing for me. But last Jade got the win. You know, punt kick, Jade for the win. Another win in the win column. So there's that. I took a bathroom break one too late. One match too late. Because right after was the Motor City Machine Guns and Jay Lethal versus FTR and Wardlow. Now, this match, obviously, the build to it was lackluster. Considering, you know, it clear as day should have been just Jay Lethal versus Wardlow again for the TNT title. It could easily put that, but it looked like it was gonna be Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, Sandam Singh versus FTR Wardlow, and they changed to more same machine guns. So change on the fly like twice when you shouldn't have. Now, More City Machine Guns are one of my favorite tag teams ever. You know, when TNA was in its prime, or Impact, whichever you call it, Motor City Machine Guns were amongst the forefront of that tag team division. And, it's great to see still they're doing well. This match wasn't anything special, but I guess it worked. So, The Guns were targeting Cash's knee for most of the match, throwing it to the post. Lethal hit a big elbow drop after offense by the Guns on Wardlow for their fall, but it didn't take long after for Wardlow to hit the Powerbomb Symphony on Lethal. 1, 2, 3, and FTR Wardlow get the victory. Afterwards, Samoa Joe returned. Great to see him back. Save FTR and Wardlow from this 5-on-3 beatdown. He evened the odds a bit. And so Sanjay Dutt had a shirt that said, "Fight like an 8-year-old brat." So out came Dax Harwood's daughter, Finley, who had the hole in her heart. She came out, took the pencil from Sanjay Dutt's ear, broke it. Dax hit a right hand to Dutt, and Finley pinned Dutt 1, 2, 3. Cool, very cool moment for Finley to get a pinfall over Sanjay Dutt after what he's been saying the last couple weeks. Ricky Starks versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I gotta admit, this was one of my most intriguing matches intrigued matches on the show or on the pay-per-view. And the time I was given, I thought it was going to be more than what it was given, but a long show, a long pay-per-view, and, just very unfortunate, very underwhelming. So, Starks came out like a bat out of hell, attacking on Hobbs, but basically Hobbs used power, and ultimately it was a spine buster by Hobbs, which got him the victory. And there's that. So Ricky Starks gets another loss in AEW. Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed. This, I was crazed with how good or how over the Acclaimed in this match was. I kept looking and just listening to the sound of this match was mind-boggling. This is mind-boggling. Now, I know the Acclaimed are over, but this match is good. Very good. I mean, what more could say? This was just good. So, Caster assisted mic drop elbow to the outside on Swerve. There was a bunch of friendly fire in this match between Swerve and Our Glory, which made me think, uh-oh, the Acclaimed may get their due. So, Swerve got pounds from Lee. Bowens hit T-Bone. Mic drop by Caster, which gave a close near fall. Swerve made a Death Valley driver on the apron. More friendly fire. But then all of a sudden, Swerve and Lee hit the Swerve Song Powerbomb combo on Caster for the win, and they retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. Clear as day. Four-way match for the interim AEW Women's Championship. This was an alright match, right women won. Right woman won. In my view. Now, Kawashia for Tony Storm, for Jamie Hayter, for Britt Baker. I have to give myself a pat on the back because I didn't even see the entrances. Usually I try to write the name on my notes based on, who comes out first. But I didn't even see the entrances. Well, I saw Sheeta's. And then all of a sudden, write the names out. And then it just happened. Sheeta, Tony, Hayter, Britt. That was cool. Jamie Hayter was very over as well as Chicago. Not surprised. Not surprised. Not surprised. So it was a double team on Sheeta on the stage. Britt hit a curb stomp. Referees and officials were attending Sheeta and took her to the back for a bit. So for a while, it was a handicap match on Tony. All of a sudden, Sheeta comes out with kendo sticks, bashes Britt and Hayter. Sheeta was getting her offense. Hit a Falcon's Arrow for a 2. Jamie hit a Tombstone then on Tony. Shin hit a big lariat, which Britt took out the referee and angered Jamie Hayter. Tony hit a Storm Zero, but Britt, it looked like I was cringing. It looked like Britt was gonna steal the victory, but nope. Hayter kicked out. All of a sudden, Tony hit a big DT on Britt and Tony or Jamie Hayter for the win. And Tony Storm is the interim AEW champion. Great for her. This was my favorite thing besides the MJF stuff on the pay-per-view. This to me was great. Just great. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy. This, wasn't really a match. It was great. So, Christian came out, was trying to sweet talk with Jungle Boy's mom sitting front row, and she slapped him in the face. So that was great stuff, number one. Jungle Boy came out, looked for Luchasaurus behind him, but he came out the other tunnel and chokeslam Jungle Boy on the hard grate that was a part of the pyro, you know, and burned his back. Jungle Boy, he had burn marks on his back, brutal stuff. And to make matters worse, powerbombed him through the time game stable on the outside. Great stuff, part two. Jungle Boy then went to the ring, told Aubrey to ring the bell. Christian hit a spear, Jungle Boy kicked out. But Christian ended the nonsense, hit the kill switch, but before blew a kiss to Jungle Boy's mom. 1, 2, 3. Christian gets the victory over Jungle Boy. Embraces Luchasaurus. Great stuff, part 3. Christian as a heel has just been solid. Just solid. Ever since turning heel, I commend him. He's one of my favorites of all time. And yeah. Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson. This match was good, but the way this was, the crowd was left to be desired on this match. Still a good match. But yeah. So Bryan Danielson getting his comeback. He missed a drop kick on Jericho. Jericho hit a tombstone, followed by a lion salt for a near fall. Not sure about that. Great wrestling, back and forth, submissions, on all. But Jericho got the win here. Low blow behind referee's back. Hit a Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. Jericho gets the victory of Bryan Danielson, which Daniel Garcia disappointed. House of Black versus Miro, Darbion, and Singh. I think you'll know that if you've been watching my AEW reviews, you can tell that I was not too pleased with how this match ended. I mean, it was fine, but without Malachi Black has been treated, did not sit well. Might have been the low part of the pay-per-view. Which is sad, but might have been. So, big spots, throughout the match. Finish match. Stinging Scorpion. Darby a cough drop for a near fall. Buddy actually used Sting's bat to intercept Miro, stop on the outside. Darby is big suicida, took out Buddy. It looked like Malachi was gonna send Sting into retirement with a black mass or a sending a roundhouse kick. But instead, Sting spewed mist into Malachi's face. Darby locked on the Last Supper, 1, 2, 3, and Darby pins Malachi Black. Yeah. 1 second, need me a drink. Right. Woo! Alright. Need a little something before the main event. But, yeah. Main event. Jon Moxley and CM Punk for the AEW World title. Very good match, very good main event. Obviously, better than how it was 2 weeks ago when Moxley squashed Punk. But match was very good. So Punk originally looked like he was gonna squash or attempt to squash Moxley how he was 2 weeks ago. He had GTS, couple minutes in, only for a near fall. But Punk and Light chuckled and just laughed about it. Eventually, they fall into the crowd. Punk got busted open by Moxley. Punk, back in the ring, went for a big elbow at the top. Got caught. Mox went for a bulldog choke, but ultimately got out of it by Punk. And then later in the match, Mox hit Death Rider, but for a 2. And, you know, bit of the story selling this match was Punk's foot and the fatigue. So, Punk hit a GTS, and then both collapsed. Mox because he was out, Punk because he was fatigued. Finally, he hoisted up Mox again and hit 1, 2, 3. Punk regains the AEW World title. Afterwards, pitch black. We hear the voicemail of Tony Khan to MJF. The masked Joker unveils himself, then walks out to a great reaction. MJF is back and wants the AEW World title. That was some ending to All Out. Not AEW's best pay-per-view, but it was definitely a good one. Was a good one. You have to agree. So, too many matches. I did watch 0 Hour as well. I did enjoy Kingston vs. Ishii. Pac versus Sabian was hit or miss for me. But yeah, All Out was pretty good. Pretty good. Uh, I will talk about the media scrum and the aftermath. You'll see my thoughts on that on the Dynamite review, so stay tuned. But anywho, nonetheless, thank you for joining me. If you're new to podcasts and you want to see more pro wrestling reviews and stuff, find them on the homepage. Click the description. Of course, if you like the video, leave a like, leave a thumbs up. Help out the video, help out the podcast. But thank you all. Be safe. And I'll have a Dynamite review sometime either later today or Friday, but you will get one with my thoughts on the aftermath and thoughts on Dynamite. So thank you. Be safe. I'm Angel. To love. And out. Peace.